If Labour wants to rebuild trust with us and our communities, let's get back to talking about those bread and butter issues.
Stephen, final question. Has your party recovered from the Brexit wars, or do you think it's still an electoral impediment to you that your leader is associated with a group of politicians who tried to block Brexit?
Well, it's no secret, Liam, I wasn't in favour of the second referendum, and Gloria and I and others were. We talked a lot about how we might find a solution, a compromise, really, that could hold the party and the coalition together. But those days are behind us now. That argument is done and dusted. In the conversations that we've had with voters around the country, it has come up, but there's also a really strong appetite out there to move on and to say, look, if Labour wants to rebuild trust with us and our communities, let's get back to talking about those bread and butter issues. The future of work. How do we bring good jobs back to our community? How do we get back to having some dignity and security in the work that we do? There's such a clear dividing line between us and the Tories on that, I think, and I think people are buying into that whole idea of dignity at work. How are we a country that stands on its own 2 feet? For far too long, we've allowed manufacturing to collapse in our country. We've become far too reliant on imports from countries like China, and that has real implications for our national security and for our economy and good jobs. So how are we going to be a country that stands on its own 2 feet after Brexit? We haven't really seen a compelling vision, in my view, on that from the Conservatives. So that's a big opportunity for us. And then how do we make it clear that we're a party of sensible and sound financial management of the public finances? Yes, investing, always looking to invest, but making sure that when we invest, we marry that together with reform, using new technologies, modernising public services, as not just and making it clear that when we invest, we're doing it to deliver value for the taxpayer. So I think those are some really key messages, and that's what people want to talk about. The Brexit process is done and dusted, and we need to move on, and we just need to make sure there isn't a vacuum, a lack of clarity about what Labour stands for, because if you do have that, then all the old divides and all the old issues around Brexit, for example, that can come back to the fore. We've got to really have those compelling stories about the future of the country, and I think a lot of that other stuff to do with our recent history will fall away.
Stephen Kinnock, it's nice to see you again, and it's been good to discuss these issues with you on GB News.